In part A, we have v varies directly as r cubed, which means v equals r times some constant of proportionality k. But it's r cubed. So we get v equals k times r cubed. In part B, we have a varies directly as a product of -9 and h. So a equals -9h times some constant of proportionality k. And in part C, s varies directly as a product of 4 and r squared. So s equals 4 times r squared, again times some constant of proportionality k. And those are your answers for example 2. In general, I want you just to recognize that you have varies directly, varies directly, varies directly, meaning you use the constant proportionality k times whatever is being varied directly by. Next, we're going to look at inverse variation. In part A, we see w equals k over d squared. What this means is that w varies inversely as the square of d. So as d gets larger, w actually gets smaller based on the constant proportionality k. Or as d gets smaller, w gets larger. And this is different than direct variation. In direct variation, we see that as r, for example, gets bigger, v gets bigger. As -9h gets bigger, a gets bigger. As 4r squared gets bigger, s gets bigger. With inverse variation, that relationship is inverted. As d squared gets bigger, w gets smaller. As x gets bigger, y gets smaller. And we do see that in part B, y varies inversely as x. And in part B, we've just replaced the constant proportionality k with a -4. So what we see in general is that y equals either k over x or y equals k over x to the n, where again n is a natural number, for inverse variation. This brings us to example 3. So I want you to write the equations for the following statements. Again, use k as your constant of proportionality. Pause the video, work through these questions, resume when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, so we have p varies inversely as v. So p will equal 1 over v times some constant k. We can also write this as p equals k over v. For part B, we have r varies inversely as a product of 4 and t. R equals 1 over 4t times some constant k. R equals k over 4t. And lastly, we have y varies inversely as the square root of x. This means y equals 1 over the square root of x times our constant proportionality k. And that last one can also be rewritten as y equals k over the square root of x. That is inverse variation. If that makes sense and you're ready, go on to joint variation. If not, make sure that you review both inverse and especially direct variation.